here. You are joining me, Lorraine Chai, the book author of Stringstastic music theory books for violin, viola, and cello. Today we'll be looking at in regards to if we introduce theory in the first couple of lessons, the first lessons of a student, or if we don't. I like to introduce theory from the very beginning, but in regards to theory, it's not what you think. I'm going to take samples from my books, and they are all available on my ensemble series or my mini series. Now, the first couple of pages is very good because it introduces the instrument itself. Theory is important, but I would like to say the instrument, they have to be able to make the connections between the instrument and how the instrument is. So first couple of lessons in regards to theory, depending on how quick or how smart the student is. This is from my viola series. So let's look at that. So the first lesson I would introduce is I would get the students to understand where their instruments sit in regards to the string family. They need to know the difference between the instrument, and they need to be able to pronounce the names. So violin, viola, cello, and double bass. Now if a student says viola, they are actually not wrong, because that can be also considered as a viola. However, the way I explain is this. Viola is the name of a person. This is a viola. So say it with me, viola. Cello. Say it with me, cello. Because some students are going to say cello, right? Or double bass. No, double bass. Say it with me, double bass. And the thing with teaching is it's all about repetition and getting students to be familiarize themselves with the words. It's like if you teach a classroom or a group of people, or if you go out and you meet people, in order to remember the name of the person you just met, you say the name a couple of times, isn't it? So the same thing with this. You get the students to say the word a couple of times to familiarize themselves with the pronunciation of the word. So this is an exercise that I like to introduce to the student, but that's not it though. That's not all. I also get them for homework is to remember the parts of the instrument. So they remember the parts of the instrument, and the reasoning for this is so that when you start explaining about things like scroll, let's put your arm in the scroll, let's have your fingers away from let's place your fingers on the fingerboard, so that they understand the kind of language that you start when you start teaching them how to play. Yes, I do teach students how to play immediately on the first lesson, but it's getting them to also understand the parts of the instrument itself. So you can introduce this as well and get them to memorize as part of their homework. And then with my books, what you can do is, what the students do is they would trace or they would draw the instruments and see how much they remember. So remember, this is important. I never thought this was important until sometimes when I try and explain to students and they don't quite understand what an F hole is, or what a bridge is, what is a tailpiece, or what is, and with that, it's quite difficult to communicate or explain things if students themselves don't know what they are. What is a viola? What is the difference between a viola and a violin? You can explain it to them in that way. I would also, you see, this is part of my theory book and it's also quite interactive. So I would also introduce in regards to how a student stands comfortably. Usually younger students have better postures than the older students is due to the length of their body and the limbs that they have, the length of the limbs. So I teach them how to stand. I teach them how to hold their instrument. These are just guidelines for teachers. And students, by all means, you can always teach it a different way if you have a different way that works for you. Arco and pizzicato. So they immediately on the first lesson, they know what arco and pizzicato is. Immediately they know the difference of the instruments, and immediately they should know what names of the instrument, of the names of the part of the instrument is itself. And that is usually what I would do on the first lesson, besides playing the open string and them getting to understand the open string itself. I hope this is helpful. If you have a different way that works for you and you would like to share, please do comment below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, or until the next video, I'll see you then. Bye.